Welcome back, guys. In this section we are going to discuss about the authorization and protected route. So before getting into the code level, first of all let me explain what is authorization and what is protected route. So it is very simple, guys. So except the login endpoint and the registration endpoint, remaining all the APIs or endpoints that we are going to write are called as the protected routes. That means only the logged in user should be able to access those APIs. So first of all let me write one API. Okay, so here I'm going to write an API for get current user. Okay, that means get the information of the logged in user. So from the front end, what we will accept, that means expect. So we will expect only the token, that means which we will send while the login. So when they are login, we will send this JWT token. So this token will have the encrypted form of the user ID. So while calling this API, that means if the front end is calling this get current user API, we will expect only the token. So because the front end will not even know the user ID of the logged in person, so the front end will always know only the token. So with the help of the token only, we have to validate the remaining APIs. That means we have to validate the token before sending the response from the remaining APIs. So this is the API we are going to write, get current user. So before executing the logic in this API, so let me write the logic first. So router.get, so the endpoint name will be get current user. Okay, so this is the endpoint. So let me write some logic in this. Okay, get rid of all these things. Yeah, so here in the catch block, always we know success false, message error dot message, and here in the request dot body we will not be having anything. Only in the request dot headers we will be having the authorization token. Okay, so we have to decrypt the token, and then if the token is valid, then only you have to send the response. But we don't know how many APIs we are going to have with the protected route concept. So that is the reason we have to write this token decryption logic in the somewhere else. We can reuse, that means we have to be reusing that token decrypt logic. So that part is called as the middleware. That means before executing any protected endpoint, so this is the protected API, right? So before executing the logic, we have to check the middleware. What logic we have to check in the middleware? You have to check the token. That means if the token is valid, then only you have to execute this logic. Okay, so that's the condition. I hope you got the concept. Protected route, only the logged in users can see the content of the home page. That means in the home page we will call this, right, get current user. So in the front end we will call it as the protected route, in the back end we will call it as the authorization, whatever it is. Both are same concepts. So unauthorized users cannot be able to use our application. This is the concept. Now let's write the authentication middleware. So first of all, don't write any logic in the try block. Okay, just keep it as it is. Now close this client. So in the server folder, I'm going to create a new folder called as the middleware. So middleware in the sense the logic which will execute before executing the endpoint logic. Okay, so that means whenever this get current user endpoint is called, we are going to execute some logic in the middleware. Not only this API, whatever the APIs we are going to write from now. Okay, except these two, because these two are the public APIs. These are the protected APIs. So I'm going to write one file here, auth middleware .js. So if you are aware of the JWT and authorization concept, it will be cakewalk for you. So only for the beginners, it's somewhat difficult to understand. Okay, so now in the auth middleware.js, we are going to execute the middleware logic for every protected endpoint. Okay, so first to get the token, we need to have the access to the request body. So now I'm going to write module.exports is equal to so I will be having the access to request, response, and the next method. Next method is nothing but the logic which will have in the try block. Okay, Where is it? So this is the next method, all this try logic. Okay, now go to the auth middleware. Let me close all these things, I don't want to confuse you. Keep only users route and the auth middleware. Yeah, go to the users route. Now here I'm going to call I'm going to import const JWT is equal to require JSON web token. So we will get the token in request.headers. So we have to decrypt the token and get the user ID. Okay. So here also I am putting the try catch block. So in the catch block, I am going to send the response to the client error.message, which is nothing but the invalid token. Okay. Now in the try block, first I am going to write get the token from header. So if you go to the Axios manager in the front end, if you go to the Axios manager, Axios instance, so we are passing the authorization like this, bearer followed by the actual token. So we have to split these authorization and take the one index. So this is the 0 index, this is the 1 index. Okay, now I am going to write const token is equal to request dot header of authorization. Make sure these things must match. Authorization dot split of 1, that means second part of the authorization. So once you split a string, it will become an array. This is the 0th index, this is the 1th index, so we need the 1th index. Yeah, now you got the token. Okay, so after getting the token, you have to decrypt it. Const decrypted token is equal to JWT dot verify. So to create the encrypted, you have to use JWT dot sign. To decrypt the same thing, you have to use JWT dot verify. So to the JWT dot verify also, you have to pass the first parameter as the token, second parameter as the secret key, and this secret key must match with the secret key which you have used for the encryption. So here also process.env.jwt secret, here also process.env.jwt secret, then only you will get the expected output. Now what we will have in this decrypted token? Obviously an object with the property user ID. Okay, now you have to attach that user ID to the request body. Okay, request dot body dot user ID is equal to decrypted token dot user ID. Okay, this is the concept. Now you are ready to call the next method. So our request.body will be having the user ID now. So initially you won't be having any user ID, because if you observe the get request, we don't have any payload. So always you have to get the user ID from the token decrypt logic only. So in this logic only you will get the user ID. So if you are not able to get the user ID, that means the token is invalid. That means the user is not authorized. This is the concept. So obviously the logic will not execute once the token is invalid. Okay, so here once the next method is called, this logic will be executed, whatever the code you write in the try block. So what we want to write? So we just need to write the simple logic, fetch the user ID from the MongoDB and send the details to the UI. So const user is equal to await user dot find by ID request dot body dot user ID, and then send response success true, message user fetched successfully, data user. That's all. So if you think this logic will work, then you are in the wrong page, because here we have not even calling the auth middleware. We are directly executing the asynchronous function once we get the request to get current user. So obviously this will fail because we don't have the user ID right now. So to get the user ID, you must call this auth middleware. Okay, now let me import the auth middleware at the top. Auth middleware. So before executing the async logic, so here left to the async logic, call the auth middleware. Okay, so auth middleware will be able to access the request and response objects as like the asynchronous function here. Okay, this is the concept. So now even if you try to open the Postman and call this get current user, you will get the error. So anyhow, this is the localhost what it is, 5000 only, right? So let me go to the Google Chrome and type it. Okay, localhost 5000 slash API slash user slash get current user. Let me see what we'll get. Can see cannot get user. I think it's users, not user. Done. You can see cannot read property of split of undefined, because we are not even sending the token. So obviously this try block will not execute, because this is the unauthorized request. We are sending from the client which is not having any user ID. So obviously this is the expected output. So once the front end is ready for this authorization concept, you will understand better. So if you have any doubts, let me know. So thank you. See you in the next lecture. Welcome back, guys. In this lecture, we are going to work on the same concept, protected route and authorization concept in the front end. Okay. So first let's go to the backend ones. So right now we have one API. So we have this auth middleware logic outside of this file. So we can use this auth middleware logic for every endpoint. So like this, even in the front end also, we may have multiple pages like home page, product description page, sales page, users page, admin page, and all those stuff. So in every page, we cannot verify the user is valid or not. Okay. So that is the reason we will use one global page, which is called as the protected route. So in that protected route, whenever the page refreshes, we are going to call the get current user. So if we get the valid response, the logged in user is authorized, else invalid. So until unless we get the valid response, we don't render the content of the page. Okay, this is the concept. So same concept in the backend, we use auth middleware. In the front end, we are going to create one component. In that component, we are going to write the logic. That's all. Okay. So let's go to the components. So the component name I'm going to write as protected route or protected screen, whatever. Protected page dot JS. Okay, so these are all the pages. So whatever the pages are protected in the sense only the logged in users can access, only the authorized users can access, like this. Yeah. Now RFCE, protected page. So first in this protected page, the ultimate goal is to get the user information with the help of the token const user set user. Okay. Now use effect So I'm going to write validate token const validate token. So in this I'm going to call the get current user. So before calling, first we should have that API instance. So let's go to the users, get user. I'll use this as get current user. So we are not sending any payload, only the authorization will have the headers. That's all. So get current user we are going to call. Try catch. So obviously in the catch block I'm going to throw the error. Sorry, message.error. Let's import the message from entity. Yeah. Now in the validate token, const response is equal to await get current user. Okay. Now if response.success, set user response.data, else message. Done. Perfect. Now you have to wrap all the protected pages using this protected page as the parent component. So go to the app.js. So home page is protected. So copy this home page and put it in the protected route or else protected page. Done. Okay, protected page. So go to the protected page, get the children, which is nothing but the pages, get the children, and now if the user is there, then only render the children, else don't render any children. Okay, so I'm going to write one more logic. Copy these children, create another div for rendering the children, which is nothing but the page, and here I'm going to write user.name once you get the data. Okay, class name, let me have p5 for the time being. Later we will style the layout. So right now we are working only on the protected route logic. Yeah, so let me go to the home page now. So if I have anything in the local storage, let's delete everything. So we don't have any user in the browser now. So let's try to navigate to the home page. JWT malformed, that means there is no JWT. So instead of getting this message, you can do one thing. If there is no token, directly navigate the user to login page, because these JWT malformed, all these things only the technical people will understand. Normal people will not understand. So you just have to directly navigate the user to the home page to login. Simple logic. Okay. Or else here itself. If local storage dot get item token validate token, else send the user to please login to continue and send the user to login page. Const navigate is equal to use navigate. Okay, done. Now we cannot able to see the home page until unless we have something in the token. Okay, let's see. Refresh. Please log in to continue. Okay, we didn't return the logic to navigate. Yeah, navigate to login, and here also navigate to login. Done. Now let's see. Still it is not navigating. I don't know why. If local storage dot get item token validate token, else here also you have to write navigate login. Yeah, so the only scenario we will show the page is if response dot success is equal to true. Done. So even if I try to navigate to the home page forcefully, I cannot do that, because please log in to continue. Okay, so I think we are good. You need not to show the message also here. Only if the token is there and if the validation performed, then only you have to show the message. Refresh. Go to the home page. Done. So home page is not accessible to the guest, which is nothing but the not logged in users. Now you need to check the authorization. So if I go to the login, let's see whether I am navigating the user to home page or not. Yeah, so local storage dot set item token, then I am going to use window dot location dot href is equal to home page. So I am navigating the user to home page by refreshing the normal page. So let's log in with the Arjun. So if everything is correct, we have to get the screen name logged in user name Arjun on the home page. If our token is valid, if our code is working fine. Arjun 123, password 1234567 login. Awesome. Here you can see Arjun home. So even if I refresh, I'll get the output because this is the valid user. Now if I send anything invalid, So the first letter is E, right? In the token, the first letter is E. Let me remove the first letter, press enter, and if I refresh, I have to get the error and I should be navigated to the home page. Done. Invalid token as expected. Now let me go to the E and put the E again and go to the home page. This time I should not navigate, I have to stay in the home page only. Awesome. Okay, and one more bug we have to fix it, not a bug, still we are implementing. So once the user is there in the local storage, that means once the token is there, you should not show the login page and registration page, because it doesn't make sense, right? If the user is already present in the local storage, why we will show the login and registration? So it won't look good. So go to the login and registration pages. This is the login, right? So in the use effect, check if the token is there, navigate to home page, execute the same logic in the register. Use effect, if the token is there, send it to the home page. Use effect is not defined here. Done. Perfect, guys. Yeah, now the user is present in the local storage as well as the token is also valid. So if I try to go to the login, I cannot. I think window.refresh is loading very slow. Let me use the navigate method. Let me use navigate. Const navigate is equal to use navigate, because it is showing a small blink of the page, so that won't look good. Login, here also same. Get the use navigate. Const navigate is equal to use navigate. Navigate. Done. Okay, now try to navigate to the register page. Yes, so we cannot see anything now. Go to the login. Yes, so we are directly navigating to the home page. So I think we are good with the actual logic of the protected route. Simple logic. I will tell you the definition in one line. Authorized users should not see the login and registration page. Unauthorized users should not see the home page. That means whatever the pages you are using as the protected page. This is the concept. Okay, refresh. Done. Even if you open the localhost 3000/login in the other window also, it will directly navigate me to the home page only, like this. So this is the protected route concept, guys. So if you have any questions, even in the front end or back end, ask now itself, because in the next section we are going to work on the layout. So if you don't understand these things, you might face or you might end up with the errors. So let's clarify now itself. So thank you. See you in the next section.